Howdy there, Internet people. It's Bo again. So I guess we are on to part 5 of the gun conversation. Had some questions about bump stocks. 3 of them, actually. We're going to answer them. Now, the first one was, do bump stocks really save lives during a mass shooting? We'll talk about that. The next one was, under the intent of the Second Amendment as I see it, are bump stocks necessary? And then the third one was, should they be banned? Okay. It took me a minute to figure out where the idea that a bump stock would save lives during a mass shooting came from. What this person did is they used a very common gun control tactic to espouse anti-gun control beliefs. He's cherry-picking data. He's using one incident and making that seem like it would be representative of mass shootings. So, to understand this, how does a bump stock work? It takes a semi-automatic rifle and makes it mimic fully automatic fire. Makes it seem like it's a machine gun when it's not. It doesn't actually change any of the mechanics of the weapon. It makes it to where every time the trigger resets, it's getting pulled immediately, split second later. So it achieves rates of fire very comparable to a fully automatic weapon, a military weapon. Okay, so fully automatic fire is very inaccurate. You know, if you let loose with a magazine, full magazine, you dump 30 rounds downrange, most of them aren't going to hit what you're aiming at. That's not how it works. 3 to 5 rounds is about all you can shoot at a time and still stay on target. Now, I know somebody in the comments section is going to say, I can dump a magazine into a 3x5 card at 500 yards. Sure you can. But for us mere mortals, it doesn't happen that often. Okay. So, it is inaccurate. The longer you shoot, the less accurate the fire. I understand a lot of you guys are not shooters that are watching this, so what I want you to do is take your finger and point it at a picture frame in the room, whatever. Get it good and center on that picture frame, and then just tilt the tip of your finger half an inch up. Now, if you're across the room from this picture frame, if you were to follow the line from your finger, you're no longer going to hit that picture. So when that weapon bounces around because of the recoil, the bullets are spreading out, and the further away the target, the less accurate the fire. Because the further that bullet travels on that trajectory, the further off it's going to be. A half inch here can be inches or feet further down. So, what is the most famous use of a bump stock in a mass shooting? Now, to be honest, it's actually the only one I know of. Vegas, right? The guy was letting loose with an entire magazine at a time and firing a couple hundred yards. Yeah, in that instance, it probably saved lives. The fact that he used one made his fire so inaccurate, you had a whole bunch of injured, and I don't want to say not a lot of dead. It wasn't as bad as it could have been. How about that? If he had used semi-automatic fire, there would have been a lot more dead. Because of the range and because of how he was firing. That is true of that instance, and that instance alone. Most mass shootings don't occur at a couple hundred yards. They occur at a couple feet. And being able to fire rounds that quickly in an enclosed space like most of them are at a school or something like that, yeah, it's going to make the shooter a whole lot more lethal. It's not going to save any lives. So it's cherry-picked data, and it's bunk. Whoever told you that probably knows they're misleading you. Now, he may say, that's the only mass shooting that's ever used one, so 100% of the time it has saved lives. And that's true, but it's still kind of misleading in the idea that under normal circumstances for what we consider a mass shooting, that it would help. It won't. Okay, so the next question, is it necessary under the intent of the Second Amendment? Okay, so you got the two groups. You got gun nuts and then you have Second Amendment supporters. Gun nuts shall not be infringed. Love them. Bump stocks are the greatest thing ever. You have to have one. It's our rights. It's our freedom. Okay. Second Amendment supporters, they're divided. They're divided, and it's pretty clear. A lot of guys believe that to exercise the intent of the Second Amendment, which is to fight back against the government, if need be, you would need to be able to lay down suppressive fire. And what that means is putting a whole bunch of bullets in one area to keep another guy's head down. So, of course, since fully automatics, they're not actually banned, but they're effectively banned. For all intents and purposes, you know, most people can't get them. They're cost prohibitive. Anyway, this is kind of like the poor man's full auto. It's kind of the way they're looking at it. Those who don't think it's necessary understand that in an insurgency, which is how you would fight back against the U.S. government, you can't go toe-to-toe with them. You need to be hit, run, and hide. Suppressive fire is to keep somebody's head down while while your rest of your team is moving. That's a sign of a running gun battle, a long gun battle. That means that very shortly you're going to get hit with air support. So it's not, to me, I don't see it as being necessary. Also understand that in the event of an insurgency, the $600 rifle you bought at Walmart will eventually capture a military rifle. So I don't see it as necessary under that intent. So, should they be banned? Okay, now ideologically, no, man, nothing should be banned. We're all going to sit around the campfire and love each other and everything's going to be fine. That's actually the society I want. In today's society, I wouldn't, you're not going to see me at a protest trying to make sure that a bump stock doesn't get banned. About the only strong argument I can come up with against banning bump stocks is back when I used to go to the range all the time. I like to know who the dummies were, the people you didn't want to be around. That was normally a pretty good indicator if they had one of those. Now, that's not foolproof. You know, there are decent guys that have them. Most times they buy them as a joke, as a novelty. But I think most shooters would tell you that if you took 10 bump stock owners and lined them up against a wall, 9 of them are going to be complete people you probably don't want to hang around. So, there you go. So I hope that answers the questions. And we will get to the other ones. I know there's a lot of them, and a lot of them are really good questions, and we just haven't had time to get to them yet because of the other stuff that's been going on. So, just something to think about. Y'all have a good night.